Since Russia unapprovingly attacked Ukraine, Elon Musk has been one of the top leaders who have come out to assist the country. His Starlink internet is now an anthem service in Ukraine, and he even promised the Ukrainian president assistance towards developing nukes. But what is America's President Joe Biden doing to help save the situation? Nothing much, according to the Tesla CEO. Is Musk the president Americans thought Biden would be? And has Biden done enough to help Ukraine as the leader of the superpower? We are about to find out. Even as electric car maker Tesla braces for a major setback due to surging raw material prices made worse by Russia's invasion of Ukraine, it hasn't stopped helping the citizens in the war-torn country. Tesla CEO Elon Musk is providing Ukrainians with easy access to the internet. Musk has sent his SpaceX's Starlink terminals to provide satellite broadband service to the country, and more are en route. Musk has also spoken with Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky. Apart from this, the car maker is offering free electric car charging to help refugees escape Ukraine, while its innovative features are assisting owners in many other ways. Tesla's Camp Mode offers EV owners the space to provide shelter to refugees and store goods, including weapons, food supplies, and fuel. A Tesla EV owner said in a Facebook post recently. The post also highlights the role of an EV in times of fuel scarcity. Now, in a period when fuel is not always in time to bring, an electric car has become especially indispensable for the city. Bogdan Glavetyuk from Kiev, Ukraine wrote in the post, "The Camp Mode feature allows the users to turn the vehicle into a comfortable space where they can sleep. By turning on the Camp Mode, the user can maintain interior lighting, temperature, and airflow." Another related post highlighted a Tesla community's contribution in helping Ukrainians by providing them with food, supplies, and aid. Members of the Tesla Club Polska claim to have driven to the Ukrainian border with first aid, food, and supplies. The community also transported 16 refugees back into billets in Poland, a Twitter post said. Earlier, Tesla had announced it would offer free charging in parts of Poland, Slovakia, and Hungary that border Ukraine for both Tesla and non-Tesla vehicles, to help those fleeing from the conflict. On the contrary, Biden, who is the president, appears not so much bothered by the happenings in Ukraine, and Musk is not happy about it. Before Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky even started his recent address to Congress, Republicans had settled on their response. President Joe Biden is too weak on Russia. In the run-up to the recently conducted speech, various leaders criticized Biden for being slow to punish Vladimir Putin and displayed a growing hawkishness after years of drifting toward the non-interventionist mold embodied by former President Donald Trump. They portrayed Biden as a step behind in all things Ukraine, ignoring the president's emphasis on balancing global coalitions and moving together with allies. Musk concurs. So, here is the big question. Is Biden weak or just afraid of Russia? Let us know in the comments down below. Moving on, Republicans' criticism only grew louder after Zelensky called for a no-fly zone and more assistance to beat back Russia in remarks to lawmakers, specifically urging an aircraft transfer that would give Ukraine more firepower. Amid another day of attacks on Ukraine, House Minority Whip Steve Scalise dubbed the ongoing war a genocide, a word that implied the United States needs to engage in far greater intervention. Our own president needs to step up his game. We're not doing nearly enough to help the Ukrainians, said Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, adding, comparing Zelensky to Biden is depressing. Zelensky called out Biden directly, telling him that being the leader of the world means to be the leader of peace. Republicans used that line to their advantage as they nudged Biden, even before he announced later that the US would send $800 million in aid to Ukraine. That aid includes new long-range anti-aircraft weapons. It still might not be enough for Republicans, both the open Biden critics and those who are trying to calibrate their comments on Ukraine carefully. But Musk's camp still believes Biden's help is coming at a snail's pace while things deteriorate in Ukraine with every passing day. Through his companies, SpaceX and Starlink, Musk is not the only respected entity helping during this crisis. Oil major Royal Dutch Shell has announced that it will put profits from the sale of Russian oil it bought into a charity fund to help Ukraine. Along with aid agencies, the company will work out where and how those funds could be best used to aid the Ukrainian people. Airbnb's non-profit arm, Airbnb.org, announced that it would offer free temporary housing for up to 100,000 refugees fleeing Ukraine. Additionally, Nordic Choice Hotels have offered free lodging in its Vilnius Hotel and Poland's Arch Hotels. The company said that they already put up 1,000 refugees and are preparing to lodge 5,000 more. Another tech giant, Microsoft, has said it is trying to detect and alert the Ukrainian government about potential cyber attacks against the country in a bid to protect Ukraine's finance sector, digital assets, and other crucial sectors. On its part, Google disabled some Google Maps tools that provides live information about traffic conditions and show how busy streets are in Ukraine. The company said that this is to protect the civilians and local communities trapped in Ukraine. And the communications sector is not left behind. About a dozen telecom providers are now providing free international calls to Ukraine. Some are also scrapping roaming charges in the country, and this is precisely what's bothering Musk. Private companies are doing much more than the American government. Besides helping sort the internet connection, Musk is not stopping at that. Since the Russian invasion of Ukraine has sent oil prices soaring to multi-year highs as countries impose sanctions on Russia and banks refuse to do business with the country, the Tesla CEO took to Twitter to call for an immediate increase in oil and gas production in the US and around the world to compensate for the reduced Russian output. Musk wrote on Twitter, "Hate to say it, but we need to increase oil and gas output immediately. Extraordinary times demand extraordinary measures." Musk also underscored that the adoption and production of sustainable energy can't be accelerated instantly. Obviously, this would negatively affect Tesla, but sustainable energy solutions simply cannot react instantaneously to make up for Russian oil and gas exports, he added in the Twitter thread. This shows just how much he cares for Ukraine and her innocent civilians. He is now even advocating for fossil fuels, something he has been discouraging for decades. But to Musk, if that means saving lives, so be it. That's who we call a selfless leader. 1 in every 10 barrels of oil consumed in the world is produced by Russia, and it is the third largest oil producer in the world, according to the New York Times. Oil prices surged recently, reaching multi-year highs as oil buyers shunned barrels from Russia, which is the second largest crude oil exporter in the world. Elon Musk's tweets come as the Biden administration is contemplating a ban on the imports of Russian crude oil. Earlier, the US administration had said that banning energy imports had no strategic interest for the country. However, now the oil industry leaders of the US have come in support of boosting production and stopping imports from Russia. Musk's tweet received almost 20,000 retweets within 30 minutes of being posted. Many industry leaders have come in support of his opinion. Meanwhile, a host of other leaders continued blaming Biden's soft stance as having played a part in Ukraine's invasion. American lawmakers continue to condemn Russia's incursion into Ukraine, denouncing President Vladimir Putin's gambit as a brazen assault on international law, Ukraine's sovereignty, and stability in Eastern Europe. Republicans, while hammering Putin's march toward war, also wasted no time placing the blame for the escalating hostilities squarely on the shoulders of President Biden, saying his administration cleared the way for Russia's aggression with a series of foreign policy blunders, including the disastrous withdrawal of US troops from Afghanistan last August. Across the aisle, Democrats are singing a very different tune, praising Biden and its administration for moving swiftly to unite NATO and other key allies in Europe and beyond, many of which joined the United States recently in adopting tough new economic sanctions on Moscow. This may not be the time for blame games, but clearly, Musk has shown that he's more than just a tech-savvy engineer who is good with designs. He can also be a good leader, especially in times of need. The billionaire's frustration with his president came after begging him to help Ukraine. Click on this link to find out more. In our upcoming videos, we'll be bringing you more of Musk and Biden's assistance to war-torn Ukraine, so be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss out on any of them.